There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you. Not doing well, don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you, I would.
What's your deal? Why are you going to call the police on my husband and TBI? Why? What is wrong with you? First off, you have no reason to call TBI or FBI or law enforcement. But you're not going to call TBI and FBI on my fucking husband because I got a black eye.
Well, surprise, surprise, Candace. She can. She did. And she will again, I'm sure, if she feels the need to. You ask that creator, what right did she have, or who did she think she was? You are walking around with the whole side of your face bruised and black from something. You say, what right did she have to call because your husband was at work and was outside working on his truck? Okay, well, that side of your face being black and blue didn't happen that day. So even though he had been at work or working on his truck, what happened the day before or a few days before? You never said he didn't do anything then. Not saying he did. But then again, let's ask that question. If Don didn't do it, who did it? You didn't answer that question either. If Don did not cause the damage that's plain to see all over the side of your face, who did it? Riddle me that one. But getting back to the important part of this, domestic violence is not okay for no one, for no man or woman. It's not okay to be the abuser, and it's not okay to be the person getting abused. Domestic violence is wrong, and it is not a private issue like you think. The National Center for Domestic Violence plainly states it is a social problem. In this video, there is a hotline and several tips. And if you will notice as I read, it plainly says, if you suspect someone has been abused, you are not supposed to intervene yourself. You are supposed to call the law. You are supposed to call 911 and report it. So no matter whether Smiley and I get along or don't get along, Smiley did what was right. She did do the right thing, Candace. Something that Daisy, as your friend, should have done herself. The hotline is included in this, Candace. The tips are included in this of what you should do if you are experiencing domestic violence at home. And if it's someone else that did this to you, you definitely need to call law enforcement. And I would just like to say, why are you getting so upset and going off the deep end if Don Wells did not do this to you? If your husband is so innocent and he didn't do this, why are you flying off the deep end? Why do you care if law enforcement comes to your house? What does it matter? If he's innocent, what does it matter? Unless there's another reason why you do not want law enforcement, TBI, or FBI, and I mention those because that's the ones you mentioned, if you don't want them coming to your house for some specific reason. Is that it, Candace? You just don't want them coming to your house for a specific reason and you don't want to say why? But even so, let's get back to the way your face looks. Either Don did it or somebody else did. So at least on this part, no, it doesn't have anything to do with finding Summer at the moment. But at least on this, Candace, we can see it. Plain as day, we know it's there. We assume it's real. Tell the truth. Unless you get off on making people ask questions and wonder and speculate and throw theories out there. Oh, wait, we've been going through this for 2 years. 2 years, Candace. You all have thrown out all kinds of little tidbits here and there, or played games, or said stuff just to get people's goats, just to get them going, to get them speculating, to get them guessing. Because it seems to me, in my opinion, we as a community are more invested in your daughter's disappearance than you all are. And to me, that's just not right. So, as I said, for this one particular thing that we can all see with our own eyes, Candace, can you not, for one time since your daughter went missing, can you not tell the truth about what happened to you? If Don Wells did not do this to you on that specific day you're talking about, because he was working or working on his truck, then did he do it 2 days before, 4 days before? And if he literally didn't do it himself, he did not do this to you, then tell us who did. Because if Don didn't do it, that really gives people things to speculate about, because somebody did it. And depending on if Don did it or somebody else did it, do you really think that it's safe for your children to be up there? If somebody's going to be hurting you and you're too scared to even tell the truth about who it is or what is going on, what makes you think the state of Tennessee will return your boys with stuff like this going on and you will not even tell the truth about it? If Don's not a danger to the kids, who's up there beating on you, Candace? And you don't think they would be a danger to your children? Let me read this to you, and I'll try to make it quick. I'd like answers, Candace. Of course, I'm not owed anything, but I'm real damn curious. If Don didn't do this, who did it? I would really like to know that. I'll try to make this quick, guys. If you see abuse and suspect someone is in imminent danger of being harmed, call the police. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they have in different languages, English, Spanish, and over 200 through interpretation services. You can call 1-800-799-7233. What to do when you see or suspect abuse. Domestic violence is a pervasive public health and community safety issue. Did you hear that? It's a public health and community safety issue. To prevent and end domestic violence, we all need to be part of the solution. You hear that, Candace? That's why somebody that is not related to you or is not in the situation would call 911. Domestic violence has often been viewed as a private family matter, but it's not. It's a social issue, a community safety issue, a public health epidemic. It can impact anyone, regardless of gender, age, sexual orientation, race, or education and income level. To prevent and end domestic violence, as a society, we need to acknowledge and understand that victims never deserve nor should be blamed for the abuse they endure. Abusers are skilled at using power and control over their victims. We need to be willing to speak up and out against unhealthy relationship behaviors and to support victims and survivors in restoring safety and anonymity. If you see or suspect abuse, often the best way to help a victim of domestic violence isn't through direct intervention, which can be dangerous for everyone involved. But that doesn't mean there aren't important steps that friends and family members and bystanders who witness abusive situations can take to support victims and help them get to safety. You may be inclined to call the police if you see abuse, and this may be necessary for emergency situations where someone is in imminent risk of being harmed. However, understand and respect that for various reasons, some victims and survivors may not want the police to become involved. That brings in another question, Candace. If you're not wanting the law to come up there, you don't want anybody to call the law, Why? What's going on that you have to keep it such a secret? If everything with you and Don Wells wasn't such a secret and lies being told and games being played, you would actually have a lot more people on your side if this is actually what's going on. You need to think about that. When friends or family members are being abused, ask if they're safe or need someone to talk to. Explain that free confidential help is available, help for victims and their children at local domestic violence programs. Offer a ride to a local shelter, a place to make a phone call or babysit while they attend appointments. Carry the number of the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE or 1-800-799-7233 in your wallet in case you meet someone who needs it. If you see abuse and suspect someone is in imminent danger or being harmed, call the police. Steps you can take to understand and help in abuse. Know the signs. Domestic violence is a pattern of control that can be difficult to spot. Learn how to recognize behaviors associated with domestic violence. Report abuse. Call 911 if you see that someone is being abused and is in imminent danger. If you suspect someone is being abused, learn what to ask and how to approach the situation. Get restraining orders. See the steps you need to take to file a restraining order, which is also known as a protection of abuse order. And we all know, Candace, you know how to do that. I also would just like to add this to the little end of this. You made a threat that you would, or it was Daisy one telling you to file a restraining order or an order of cease and desist or any kind of order in the court against creators on YouTube that keep doing whatever you think they're doing to you. I just ask you to keep in mind what happened the last time you tried that. How well did that turn out for you? Think about that before you do it again. And you'd probably save yourself a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of wasted energy. Plain and simple fact is, Candace, if you would just tell the truth, no matter what you're speaking about, whether it's the black eye, domestic violence, abuse in the home, whether it was child abuse, or the most important thing, what happened on June the 15th, 2021? What happened to that baby girl? That's, you know what? If you don't have the common sense to figure this out, okay? The plain and simple fact is, if you would just tell the truth about what happened, no matter what role you may or may not have played in it, it would stop all these verbal, emotional, mental, and possibly even physical attacks on you or your husband, the person that you're so worried about being attacked. Just tell the truth. That's all it takes. And I'll leave it here for now. I hope you get the help you need, Candace. I really do.